Hey everyone, welcome to wealthwithmatthew.com. You're watching Millionaire in the Making. It is October 25th. Today's a really exciting day for us. In network marketing, the last week, the last couple of days of the month are absolutely crazy. I mean, you'll see people get promoted. You can grow your volume. You can double your volume, triple your volume, quadruple your volume the last couple of days of the month as you're closing out the month. And so we're in the middle of that. We're seeing some ridiculous growth in our business right now. This is going to be our biggest month we've ever had in network marketing in terms of sales. And so we're just excited about that. We've got more people getting promoted. And in the middle of all that, I actually have an opportunity to do something really, really special. I'll be on a special conference call tonight with one of the industry legends. His name is Challan. He's one of my original mentors in network marketing. And he's invited me on there to do a special training call about how to use Facebook to build a network marketing business. That's my specialty. If you guys know my story, I started with nothing, no following, anything like that, no credibility, nothing at all, literally, and barely even had internet, and started using Facebook to build my home-based business, and it just grew and grew and grew to the point of over $30,000 in a month after not even very long being involved in the business. So it's just really exciting to be able to share my story tonight on such a platform. Tom has built a huge following in the industry because of the impact that he's had in other people's lives and helping people really break through in a big way. And he did that, first of all, by changing his life around. I mean, Tom is a guy, I've known him for now about 8 or 9 years. And he's a guy that a while back actually has his own financial situation that came up. You know, we all have those situations, and he had a really big one. He had gone into traditional business, and things kind of fell apart near the end of the year. And we were friends, and we were communicating through this. And I remember him calling me one day. It was just the day before Christmas. And I think I was 19 or 20 years old, or like that, and we had developed a rapport on the phone, and he just called me. He said, man, things just got really bad. Both of my cars just got repossessed, broad daylight. My little girls are just asking me where are they taking our cars. It's like our house is getting ready to go into foreclosure. It's just a mess. And he's like, you know what, I'm thinking about getting back into network marketing. I really, really need to make a lot of cash right now. And that's exactly what he did. That year, he started, that was, come fast forward to January of that next year, he started a home-based business. I think it was January 8th or something like that, and made $10,000 his first month. By the end of that first year, he made over $250,000 in network marketing and built just a multiple six-figure income to the point where that team actually had over 44,000 active people in that organization. His first year, he put in over 500 people personally over the phone, prospecting over the phone. He is one of the best. In my opinion, he's the best recruiter that our industry has ever had. So for an opportunity to share my story and the little insights that I have on how to build a business on a call like what he's putting together tonight is just absolutely an honor. So I'm excited to do it. I'm going to actually put footage from that call up after this. You'll be able to get it. We'll see if we can record the call so you guys can hear the full length of it. But it's a really, really cool opportunity. I'm just grateful to God for the blessings that He's brought us to be able to not only have the story, but to be able to share that with other people, because it's really not just about what you have to go through, it's what you do when you've gone through it, and that means to give back to other people, to inspire them to get through their challenges as well and to make an impact in the world. So excited to do the call. Take a look at that footage in a second when we put that on here. I hope you enjoy it. Hope that it has an impact in your life. Take care. Like I always say, dream and then find a way. God bless.
About tonight's call. Been looking forward to it this entire week. In fact, we've been preparing for this call. We've tried to do this call so many times, and it's a blessing that it's finally coming to fruition. And I know it's perfect timing because of it's booming right now. Social media is obviously booming. It's not going anywhere. You've got to learn it. Doesn't mean you have to be an expert at it overnight. Doesn't mean you have to spend hours and hours on Facebook trying to figure out how to master it. But definitely it is something that many of you, if not most of you, should do something with. And obviously, you want to do whatever you're doing that's working, stay focused on that 99% of the time. But tonight, one of the things I always teach is how to be cross-trained. There's a lot of different ways to fish. There's a lot of different ways to do mixed martial arts. And I always talk about you don't want to just learn how to be a boxer in a fight. You want to learn how to be a boxer, maybe a little bit of wrestling, maybe a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of over time. And again, it takes time to learn how to be cross-trained, how to do different things different ways. Well, obviously tonight is extremely low-hanging fruit for a lot of you when it comes to an unlimited amount of people, practically, I mean, a few 100 million people to talk to when it comes to the internet, specifically social media. And there is a way to do it where it's not necessarily such a cold call way to do it. And Matt's going to go over all his strategies tonight, so I'm going to get out of the way. But before I do that, I do want to share with you, who are you going to be listening to tonight? Who are you going to be learning from tonight? I've known Matt literally since he was 19 years old. I've seen him grow from, you know, very, very greeny when it comes to network marketing, not really knowing how to do network marketing, to literally crushing it in the home-based business industry, crushing it in his home-based business. In fact, currently, he is one of the fastest-growing groups in his company, and his company is a behemoth, multi-hundred-million-dollar company. And he's going to share with you the strategies of what he does and what he duplicates through his team and his niche. So, guys, make sure that you pay attention. Matt isn't just one of these guys that teaches social media. He's one of these guys that is a networker that does social media in the trenches, and he knows how to make it work together. So make sure you guys pay attention. I know you guys are going to get a lot of value out of tonight's call. There's a lot of you that for whatever reason you have people that you wanted to get on this call that weren't able to because they're doing a presentation. This call will be recorded, and we will get out within the next 24 to 48 hours at the very latest. So with that said, let me make sure that we've got Matt. Can you do me a favor, buddy? Press *2 on your phone right now. Press *2 on your phone to let me know that where you're at, partner. And then,
raise hand.
All right, there we go. First off, Matt, are you there?
I sure am. Can you hear me okay?
Awesome, Matt. I appreciate you taking your time out of your schedule. I know you're full-time building your business, going to the next level with your company, and I appreciate you taking the next 35 to 45 minutes to share with us and to help us understand more how to go to the next level with social media and get more prospects. So, Matt Harris, I'm going to turn it over to you, partner, and the call is yours, buddy.
I appreciate you having me on, Tom, and for all of you that are calling in from across the world, I heard a lot of different countries and different states. It's really exciting to be here with you tonight. Tom and I, we go way back. I'm 29 years old today, so he knew me when I was 19 years old. I was actually still in college, and I'll share with you my story, but it's just so phenomenal, Tom. I just want to say this as we get started, to be on the call tonight with a leader of your stature. I've looked up to you for so long, and I've learned so much from you, not just about how to be successful in business, but how to be a true leader and how to really impact people's lives. And I know that's why there's so many people that are on this call, is because of the leadership that you've shown, and also the information you've been able to provide over the years as you've changed your life and changed thousands of people's lives as well, myself included. So it's just a really, really cool thing. I'm super excited to share this information, man. It's amazing what's happened for us. I'll tell you my story, everyone on the call. For those of you who may not know me, most of you probably don't know me, but I'm 29 years old. My name is Matthew Harris, live in Miami Beach, Florida. I've actually got a little bit of a hurricane type situation coming through pretty soon, but that won't mess with our call tonight. But here's where I got started in the network marketing industry for a couple different reasons. Most people get involved in the industry, what I believe, for two reasons. One of the two, or maybe both. One reason is maybe inspiration. Maybe they went to work one day and realized, got inspired by someone that was there that maybe had success in the home-based business industry, who maybe a friend of theirs called them up and said, you need to take out, maybe look at a plan B, and they were inspired by that story. They saw someone who had some success. Maybe they came to a presentation and was inspired by what they saw. Then there's another group of people that get started out of desperation. Literally all hell is broken loose. They're trying to figure out how to pay their bills, how to just keep their necks above water. That was me. I was so desperate that I was inspired to take massive action. What happened to us is this. I actually got introduced to the network marketing industry when I was 18 years old, so about a year before I met Tom. My family and I are originally from the country of South Africa. We moved to the United States in 2000, and just to pursue the American dream. And I was a kid that was told, like most of us on the call tonight, to go to school, get good grades, get a good job. And what had me even more excited was the fact that I was in America, because I'd watched TV for years in Africa, and I saw that everyone has 3 cars, 5 houses, all this kind of stuff. I mean, I had this warped perception about America that you'd come here and get rich, but I know that is indeed the case. You can do that. It's still the land of opportunity, and I'm so blessed to be able to live here now. But we came here with all these dreams, hopes, and goals, and I went to school, graduated, and landed a job. And right around that time was when the economy tanked. But my father had introduced me to network marketing, and I loved the concept. I was the guy, as soon as they started drawing the circles on the board, the octopi, the whole little, the circles with the legs going different directions, it made a whole lot of sense to me. I just couldn't get it to work at all. I tried so many different companies through college. Even when I had a full-time job out of college, still was just dabbling with it. I never really committed myself, though, to actually making it happen. I always had hope that it would work for me, but what I've come to understand is that hope is not a strategy. And so for some of you that are on the call tonight, maybe you've been hoping that your business is going to go to the next level, I'll just share this from a brutal, honest place of what happened to me when my life fell apart and I had to stop hoping and come up with a strategy to make it happen. Here's what happened. The company I was working with went out of business, so I understood that corporate America was not going to last forever and that my dreams were not going to come true there. What really made it worse is that the company I'd been with at that time went out of business January of 2011, so last year, and I was really messed up over this because my wife's career also fell apart at the same time. At that time, we were engaged to be married. We were 8 months away from our wedding. I had nothing in the bank. Literally, I was expecting a nice check from that company. It didn't show up. That's how I started January 2011. My fiance then, my wife today, that's how we started the year. And we were frustrated. I mean, we went into survival mode. When you end up in a position where your lights are going to get cut off, where you don't even have the food that you don't even know how you're going to get food for the day, that's where we were. And I don't want to go into this long, sad story about where we were. But point is, we had a lot of reasons to just look at the wall and just be depressed. But we also had a wedding coming up, and I wanted to give my fiance the wedding of her dreams. I wanted to fulfill on that promise. So I was motivated. I had a very, very strong why, and I started looking for an opportunity to make. I had to make a lot of money very, very, very quickly. And as you know, weddings don't cost. They don't cost a little bit. They cost a lot. And so this one cost a lot. So got down and started looking for a company in the home-based business industry, and I decided to commit to building it and really go to work. So I found a company, got started with that company. In the first 7 days, literally, when we started our business, we had no credibility, no background. We had no success from before to really point to, and we made about $2,000 the first 7 days from scratch using Facebook and social media, like what I'm going to share with you tonight. The first 7 days made $2 grand. By our third month, we made over $13,000 for the month, and a couple months later, our income actually exceeded over $30,000 for the month. I'll never forget when I called my dad, and I called him up and I said, "You won't believe what just happened. We cleared over $30,000 for the month." And he was the guy who had introduced me to the industry. So I called him to say thank you for introducing me to this incredible opportunity of network marketing. But here's the point, that when we went through that process of building, we did probably about 95+% of our recruiting efforts were specifically following the strategies I'm going to share with you tonight. And I focused specifically on Facebook. So there's a lot of different social media tools, but I'm going to focus the majority of what we're going to talk about tonight on Facebook. That's what I know the best. That's what I've created the most results, and that's what I've been able to help the most people get results from. What ended up happening after I started to have some success with Facebook was a friend of mine called me up. He had been kind of following the traditional methods of the 3-foot rule. And so he was driving around every week trying to build his business, and he called me up one day out of frustration. He said, "Man, I just spent $400 this week on gas. I don't have any real prospects for my business. What are you doing?" And I told him, I'm by the pool. I've been talking to some people on Facebook, and I'm recruiting that way. He asked me to show him how to do that. So I'd never before at that point taught anyone else how to do what it was I had done. I hadn't really thought about what I was doing. I just had been taking so much action. So I sat down and over the course of 3 days put together a video series of 6 videos. They're about 7 hours in length of everything that I'd possibly done to create that kind of income. And I told him to watch the videos. He did that and literally became the #1 recruiter in that company that month. I think he put in almost 20 people that month. So he went from struggling big time in his business to being being the top recruiter that month in the business, and people started to ask us left and right, how are you guys doing this? We started to teach it to our team, and the duplication just took off from there because of how simple this is. But then again, it's not just about the information, folks. It's about making a decision that you're going to change your life and go to the next level. That's something I've heard from Tom many times over, but when my life had fallen apart, that was when I had to make that decision. So my goal tonight is not just to give you the information that'll help you go to the next level, but to encourage you to make that decision tonight, to draw the line in the sand and to say that enough is enough. I'm going to make it happen right now, right away. So this call is practical. I know a lot of you might already be logged into Facebook right now while we're doing this, all right? Some people may say it's a distraction. I'm actually going to help you turn this into a little bit of a profit center tonight, because as I'm going through these principles and these techniques and strategies, I want you to start applying them immediately to take action now. Don't think about it for next week or next month. Do it now, and you'll be surprised, shocked, and absolutely blessed by the results that you'll get right away. So here's how this goes. Facebook is a gold mine. Listen, I don't have to explain. I don't have to really dive into that too much. We understand right now that there's over 1 billion active users on Facebook. Facebook reached that number in October. It's a huge milestone, especially when you consider that there's 7 billion people on the planet. So 1 out of 7 people have a Facebook account right now. Do you think you can find a couple people, a couple leaders for your business, and there's 1 billion people on the planet that are in Facebook? Absolutely. So it's a definite gold mine, but you need to have the right tools, the right ability, the right strategies, and the right mindset to really mine for that goal on Facebook. You could be in the middle of a great mine, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're still not going to strike gold. So our goal tonight is to show you exactly what you need to do. So I want to encourage you to grab a notepad and a pen if you haven't already done so. Here's the 3, just again, as we go into the content, there are 3 fundamental steps that you want to keep in your mind as we go through this information. Everything I talk about is going to be based on these 3 steps. Here's what they are. First is to build a network. Really basic, really simple, and I'll unpack that as we go. But start with that. Number 1 is to build a network. Number 2 is to feed your following, and I'll explain that more as we go as well. Number 3 is to create influence. These are the 3 fundamental steps that will put you in a ridiculous position to prospect people into your business just like a magnet, attracting people to you over and over and over and over again. It takes work, but that's the concept. Build a network, feed your following, and then create influence. So here's the bottom line. A lot of folks come onto Facebook and they have this perception that, okay, I understand that it's a gold mine. They don't really know where to start. So they start trying to promote their business on Facebook, left and right, posting links on their statuses and changing their whole page to their profile picture to be their company's logo and all this kind of stuff. And it's okay to be excited about your company, guys. Absolutely. The company I'm involved with, I'm extremely excited about it. But here's what I've learned along the way is that people join people. They don't join companies. The truth of the matter is that people will often fly all around the world to meet a person. Sometimes they won't even cross the street for an opportunity. That's just how people are. So knowing that people are attracted to people, we need to come to Facebook with a perspective of promoting ourselves. Promoting ourselves as leaders, as people that people want to be involved with. People want to be around leaders. They want to be around people of influence. They want to be around people who inspire them to be better, who are positive, who are going places, who are making things happen. They want to be around people that can show them how to change their life. And so that's the focus when we talk about coming on Facebook. That's how we want to present you to the world. But that's the mindset when you come onto Facebook. Think right now, are you presenting yourself as a leader, as the person that people want to be in line with? That's where you start. If you haven't already put that in place, it's going to be tougher to do some of the things I'm going to talk about. But remember to present yourself first. So here's, as the emails went out today, and I know a lot of different things have been passed around today about what this call is going to be about. There was one thing on there that probably stood out to you, was the 7 deadly Facebook sins. All right, and there actually are this. I learned these by doing them and getting no results with Facebook. I learned this in a really, really rough way. When I got started with Facebook, I had no internet. When I started really building aggressively, we had no internet. That's how bad things were. I was going to Panera Bread. My phone was about to get cut off, and I just had to go to work. But I had to learn how to do the right things faster and less of the wrong things. That was what increased my results. And so these 7 things, I stopped doing this, and this is what helped increase my results. It'll definitely make an impact on your business right now. The first deadly sin is you don't want to do this. You do not want to treat your status bar like it's a billboard. What I mean by that is I see a lot of amateurs coming onto Facebook and posting links about their company over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They're selling their opportunity. Now, here's what I'll tell you. It's okay to present your company on Facebook, to share that with people. But what I focus on is I don't sell the opportunity. I share results. I share results of people on my team who are qualifying for new cars, who are earning thousands of dollars, our first check, or our trips that we're taking, vacations that we're taking together, the lifestyle that comes with building and being successful in network marketing. That's what I promote. But I don't really promote it as being the company that's being successful. I promote it as me and my team that's being successful. So I don't sell my opportunity. I promote the results. I share the results. People want to see results. They don't want to see statistics and all this kind of stuff. They don't want to see links and just impersonal relations. They just don't want to see that stuff. They want to know that something is real. And so don't treat your status bar like a billboard. Second thing is, do not make your Facebook more about your home-based business than it is about you. It has to be about you. And by the way, when I'm talking about Facebook, there are two different types of Facebook pages. Right then, for the purpose of our call tonight, I'm going to try and condense everything that we put into those training videos into literally this call. All right, so I'm going to try and bring it down. But to keep it simple, there are two types of Facebook pages. What I'm focusing on is your personal page. Your personal page that has a limit of 5,000 friends. That's what I'm focused on. And quite frankly, for those of you who are wondering, that's what I use the most. I have a public page and a personal page, but the majority of my recruiting comes from my personal page because of the relationships they're able to create and the interaction I'm able to build with people. So that's what we're focused on. So that's the page that I'm talking about when I say make it more about you than it is about your company. The third sin is you don't want to mass message your friends. I can't tell you how many times I've logged into my Facebook and I've get this mass message to like 400, 500, 600 different people with a link in it. Someone's linked to their home-based business and whatnot. And I used to do that. And I used to wonder why I was getting no results. Because I was like, okay, if I just send it to my entire friends list, I'm going to be at the top of the company in a month. That was what I thought. And then it didn't happen. And now I look at it, when people do that to me, it really kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's annoying to me. But that's one of the, you just want to stay away from that. The other one is you don't want to air your dirty laundry on Facebook. Remember, people are judging the business by what they see about you. So when you're going to get, I'm going to teach you how to get on the phone with them, but here's what you want to have happen. You want them to already see you as being in a higher position in life, that there's someone they respect and trust and look up to. If they go to your Facebook page and they see that you're complaining about stuff, you're complaining about your job, you're complaining about the economy, you're complaining about this and complaining about that, people already have enough negativity in their own life. They're looking for people that are positive. So they want to see that you're a positive person. It makes a tremendous difference in the way that you impact them when you're going to talk to them, and it will actually repel people from you if that's what you do, is to air your dirty laundry on Facebook. The other one is definitely don't spam people. I kind of touched on that a second ago with sending out mass messages. The other one is you don't want to post applications on people's walls or play apps. These are simple things, guys, but I know that a lot of folks on this line, a lot of people even in my team, were caught doing these things. What I'm talking about with applications is this. There are certain games on Facebook that will post in your news feed every time that you do something. Every time that you're the king of some castle or whatever, it'll post in your news feed to tell all of your friends that that's what you're doing. My mom plays a lot of games on Facebook, and I had to turn off some of these notifications on her page. Bless her heart, she didn't know any better, but I did that because it was just filling up my news feed. Here's what you'll, and probably some of you guys have people in your news feed as well that you're seeing this happen. What you want to have happen on Facebook is you want people to see you as a person, as someone that's there to interact with people. And if their news feed is getting filled up with all these applications and games and stuff like that, it takes away from that impression. So it's going to hurt you. The last one on this is the seventh one. I know we're going to the political, well, the elections are coming up. You definitely don't want to talk about politics on Facebook. It's going to hurt your business more than you can believe. CNN actually just put out an article a couple weeks back talking about how Facebook has actually started to bring a lot of friction into people's relationships because of the political season and people being so open about their dislike for this and their appreciation. You know, it just, people get, I've seen it too during debates. While I'm trying to recruit, I'm seeing my whole news feed fills up with a lot of folks talking about the elections and all this kind of stuff. And what I have noticed is that the top earners never really never say anything political on their Facebook. It's really, really interesting to say. There are some that still are, you know, they're a little bit, they don't care. They're at a place they just don't care, and I'm not talking about those. But in general, you want to stay away from talking about politics on Facebook. It's such a polarizing topic. So those are the top 7. Just changing, if you've caught yourself, if you find yourself already kind of slipping on one of those, guys, I messed up on all 7. That's how I figured out how to do this right, was I did it wrong for so many times and finally learned how to do it right. Now, on the opposite side, there are things that you want to do. You want to brand yourself. You want to have fun. You want to be positive. And you want to engage with other people. And you want to be consistent. So I'm going to share with you about setting up your profile before we dive into connecting with people. Because one of the things that we talked about already was networking, building that network of people. How do you find people on Facebook? How do you build with that? I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So if you guys are at a computer right now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your profile page. Again, we're talking about personal pages. You want to go to your profile page. I want you to look at your profile picture. Just look and see if you're happy with it, if it's of your face. You don't want to have any negative picture up there at all. You just don't want to do that at all. But here's what you're looking for second, is you want to go into your Facebook and your About Me section and go to where it says Networks. Here's what I want you to do. If you've been to a certain school, even if you were there for 6 months, I mean, I had a school, I was there for a year. I didn't last long there as a troubled youth. I had to move on to another school. But I included it in my network.
Has left the conference.
I included in my...
Matt, you there?
Sure.
Sorry, Matt. I think the call got dropped for a split second. We're back on nobody.
Okay.
You're good. You're good now.
Okay, perfect. Well, I heard but just some background noise. Are you going to mute it? Okay, there we go. Okay, hopefully we got everything situated. Thanks, Tom. What I was sharing with everyone before we kind of got into the music section there was you want to go to your Facebook profile, the About Me section, and look for networks. Add the schools that you've been involved in. What Facebook is designed to do is to help you reconnect with people that you already knew or that you might know. This is a key distinction. I know there's a lot of people that come onto Facebook and they just want to add as many people as possible. That's actually not the way Facebook was designed to work. So they have certain rules and limitations that will actually block your account if you're just adding people constantly, you're just mass messaging people. So you want to actually follow the rules and bend them a little bit. And the rules are you want to connect with people that you know. So here's what makes it easier for you to find people is by putting in the networks, the school that you're involved in, the company you worked at. There are so many places, so many times I've been able to sponsor someone that was in a network, like a school that I went to, that I might not have remembered from class or anything like that, or even a church that I was involved in, or a different ministry or a different charity or anything like that. You want to include those in your networks because Facebook will then start to suggest to you people that you might know based on your profile, and will also make it easier for you to connect with these people. The other part, too, is that when you do connect with them, they'll see that you have something in common with them. Here's your ultimate goal. If I can give it to you guys right now on a platter, is you want to build as many bridges with people as possible. I've learned this from Tom. Tom is brilliant at building bridges with people on the phone. I'm good at doing this with Facebook. I'm really good at connecting with people on Facebook and building those bridges. So when I get on the phone with them, they're ready to sign up. So you want to set your profile up so it's already in your favor. You want to stack as many of the cards on your side of the table as possible. So setting up the networks is a big, big key. The other thing that you want to look at, too, is when you put your bio together, is to actually spend some time crafting that bio. You don't want to actually write pages and pages and pages. I did that and it really had bad results. My bio is probably about a couple paragraphs long and it has my blog in there. That's it. Something really simple that presents me. So now that we've talked about your profile, we've got you set up, you're ready, you look professional, you look good to go. Here's what you're going to look for. The second step in our process is feeding your following. What we're trying to do here is actually to develop influence with your network of people that are on Facebook so that when you get on the phone with them, they already have a great perception of you. So what you want to do with your Facebook is to look at it as your brand. Literally, just like Coca-Cola has a brand, just like the Kardashian family has a brand, just like Ray Lewis, my good friend, has a brand, you want to have your own brand as well. So you want to spend some time figuring out what that is. For me, my brand is my lifestyle. I'm the guy that lives basically on the beach pretty much all the time. I just love the beach. My wife and I love the beach. We love to travel. It may be different for you, but you'll see on my page that I share a lot from our lifestyle about that. Now, here's what's interesting. When you look at your Facebook friends, whether it's 200, 500, 1,000, 5,000 or whatnot, that is your list of contacts. probably when you first got started in the industry, you heard the same advice that I heard, was to write your list of contacts. That's the first thing I did. I wrote up my list of contacts. I never called them. I'll just be honest. I never called them when I first got in. I've called them many times since, but when I first got in, I was too scared to call them, so I never called them. But I did write down my contacts. What I've learned is that, and you might have heard this, but it's so true, especially with Facebook, your money is in your list. That list of contacts that you have are so, so powerful. So you're going to be intentional when you go on Facebook. When you post a status, what I want you to do is think about is if you were writing for a newspaper, would you be okay with that information being on the front of a newspaper? You want to share funny statuses and quotes. I have statuses that I've posted that have been shared hundreds of times because they resonated with people. That's led to me actually sponsoring people in my business, because as that quote is being shared throughout Facebook, or as it goes viral, more and more people are finding about, hey, Matthew Harris, who's this guy? This is a funny thing. Let me see what he's about. And now I'm able to talk to a new prospect for my business. You want to also share powerful pictures and be authentic. Now, I don't have a lot of time to go into that because I want to really hammer out how to actually network with people. That's the number one question I get from people is, how do I find people on Facebook? How do I find people? How do I find people? So here's what you do. This is the step-by-step process. This has brought me the best results ever in my business. I started with my warm market. I'll be very, very firm on that. I know some folks say I don't want to talk to people that I know. When I say warm market, here's what I mean. There are different types of people that you know and people that you don't know. Whether you know them well or not too well is okay. But any kind of common area that you can have between them will make that relationship a little bit more warm. So what you want to do then is go back to those networks, those schools that you've gone to, those different places, the cities that you used to live in, and start to look for people that are already in your database, that are already on Facebook, that you're just looking to reconnect with. There's a guy, for example, that I have that just came in business with me. He's down in Dallas, big time leader in the industry. I didn't even know that, but I knew him when I was in high school. He went to a different school, I went to a different school, and we have a lot of the same friends in common. So he came on board, I think, a couple of weeks ago. He just got signed up with us. But the way I found him was because I had reconnected with friends of mine that were on Facebook. They were actually friends of his. And so I focus on finding what I call mutual friends. That's how I build my network on Facebook. I don't go out there randomly adding people. I go to my existing warm market friends list, the people that I do know in person, I went to school with, church with, hanging out with on the weekends, go to work with, that kind of stuff. I go to their friends list, and you guys that are on Facebook right now, you can do this and do exactly what I'm sharing with you to do. Go to their profile page. When you click on their friends list, it'll actually show you their entire list of contacts. That's the first thing you want to do is write down, when you came into business, you wrote down a list of your contacts. Now you're accessing that network. The second thing you're probably told is once you got someone in the business, have them write down their list of contacts. So by going to someone's Facebook page and actually looking at their friends, their network, you now have access to their network without them even being in your business, right? It's powerful. Here's what you'll find is when you send a friend request to someone on their friend list, because they have you as a friend in common, they're more likely to actually accept your friend requests and be open to talking to you. And the conversation is going to start like this. When they accept your friend request, you're simply going to say, hey, I noticed you're friends with such and such. How do you know them? I've known them for how many years? 8 years. Aren't they so funny, or aren't they silly? And you start that conversation. So you've already starting the conversation ahead. It's not a blind contact. You already have your foot in the door because you have that mutual friend in common. Now, here's what I found out. So when we were really churning with Facebook, we focused on this one tactic of networking with our network's network. That sounds really crazy, but you got what I mean. Looking at your friend list, adding the ones you have in common with you. Here's what happened. Before I had done that, when I would send friend requests on Facebook, I would get blocked. There's this arbitrary limit of friend requests you can send in a day, and Facebook would slap me every single time I did it. And it wasn't until I started focusing on adding mutual friends and friends that Facebook was suggesting to me that I was able to add more, sometimes 30, sometimes 50, sometimes more than that per day. Again, that algorithm shifts, so you want to stay, when you're adding folks, I'd suggest staying between 15 to 20 just to be safe. But when you focus on mutual friends, you're able to get a lot more traction, not just in the amount of numbers, but also in the quality of the relationship as well. So when you add someone to your friends list, guys, here's the other thing you want to do is that there'll be a drop-down menu when you click on add friend, and you want to set up a friends list. or the type of network that you want to put them in. So when I add someone to my friends list, if they're a network marketer, I have a list of networkers. If they were someone who's a celebrity, perhaps, or if they're someone who's a football player or a real estate agent or something like that, I've actually created networks within my network of different types of lifestyles and different types of careers. The reason I do that is because when I go to my Facebook and I share something, you can actually choose who you want in that network to see what. So, for example, if I want to share something that's just about network marketing and I only want my network marketing friends to see that, when I click status, post status, I actually click on a little drop-down menu and I can choose that that network sees that alone. Why would you want to do that? You want to do that to create value for different people, because not everybody's going to be interested in the same thing. And if you constantly talk about the same thing, they might get turned off from what you're talking about. So you can keep it fresh for everybody in your network by focusing on these different networks. The other thing, too, is when you go into your status feed, when you go into the, guys, I told you this is going to be very practical. So again, if you're on Facebook, you can start doing this stuff right now. I want to give you a lot of content. So you go into when you log into your back office, not back office, when you log into your home page with Facebook, you'll see your status updates. But you can also sort through those status updates based on the network that you've put your friends in. So if you want to see what your networker friends are talking about, if you want to see what your real estate friends are talking about, if you want to see what different networks of people are talking about, you can actually sort through those and then interact with them. A fantastic, fantastic tool to do this. Now, let me take it a step further, because I'm showing you guys just that alone will blow your network up wide open, wide open. But one of the things that will bring it closer to home for you, especially for you guys that are doing parties or different local events and things like that, you want to build your local market. I'm going to give you guys my absolute favorite technique for finding people locally. Here's what I do every single day, is I actually go into the search bar at the top of Facebook. When you log into the back, you'll see at the very top is that search bar. You use that search to find people locally. What I do is I type in the city. I live in Miami Beach, so I type in Miami, Florida up at the top. And it'll actually, as you type the words in, you'll see a drop down that'll come. You want to go all the way down to the bottom of that drop down and search for more options. Once you do that, it'll take you to a new page. There you'll choose people. Once you click on people, you'll see all the people that are potentially could be friends of yours in that Miami market. And what you're looking for is the ones that have friends in common with you, the ones that have mutual friends. Those are the ones that you want to focus on networking with to give you that edge. Another strategy for you guys as well who are looking maybe for network marketers or for people who are in real estate is to type the name of the company into that search bar, whatever company it is, if it's Keller Real Estate or if it's a network marketing company, the name of that company, and then the city. Choose all results and then click on people, and it will show you people that have that company in their profile page within your area. So you can start to build locally, and it's so much fun to do that. That's how you can drop me out of a plane anywhere and I'll be able to build locally because of this that one strategy right there. So it's a phenomenal, phenomenal tool to use. So we've talked about how to find people. Guys, there's so much more on how to find folks as well, but that is one that I do every single day. It's one of my favorite techniques. But now that you've started to network with people, you want to start to extend your brand, you want people to see that you're a positive person, you're a leader. One of the things that I stick to, and I would recommend you doing the same, is what I call the 80-20 rule. I talk about my life 80% of the time, and 20% I promote my business. 80% I'm talking about life, sharing funny statuses or inspirational pictures or pictures from our life, or maybe our puppy ate something and looks silly, I'll share that. Just being real with people, just being a 29-year-old that's trying to make something happen in the world, and I'm just sharing things from my life with my list on Facebook. But the other 20% of the time, I'm sharing about my company. When I share about my company, I share the results that people are having. If someone has had results in our product, someone that I know maybe has earned a new car, or new vacation, or hit a new rank or something like that, congratulating our team, that's what I do. I don't go on Facebook selling my opportunity, join me, join me, join me, join me, join me. I don't do it. I'm the other way around. I'm very more like I'm not saying it, but I'm doing it. I'm attracting people to me by the way that I share. So here's what you'll find. There are 4 fundamentals in recruiting with Facebook, 4 steps. Now that we've talked about setting up your Facebook page, how to find people, how to feed that following, we're going to talk about how to actually talk to people on Facebook. This is where this will turn your business to the next level if you just do what I'm talking about doing right now. Literally, you can go on Facebook on your chat box right now and do what I'm going to share with you, and you'll have prospects tonight for you to talk to. I shared this information on a webinar last week. There's a young man in Canada that was on that webinar. He messaged me later afterwards, and he said, man, I did exactly what you said to do. I got 10 numbers in a couple hours tonight, 10 phone numbers for new prospects, and he's just going crazy with it. So imagine this. I'm going to show you how to put yourself in a position where you have so many people to talk to, you have no time to call them back. That's what happened to us when we blew up our business. Tom talks about this a lot, where he talks about making a mess, where things are just moving so fast that you don't know where you are because of how much activity is going on. This was what Facebook allows you to do. So here's my tip. As we go through this process, I'm going to focus on one key area, but there are 4 of them that you want to follow. The first is finding people, like I just talked about doing, and sorting for prospects. And again, my tip on doing that is looking for mutual friends, people that have friends in common with you. All right, so that's the first one. The second step here is to get their phone number. This is where I'm going to spend a little bit more time on, because this is where I messed it up big time in the beginning, and this is where I see so many marketers messing it up. Big time on this, getting the phone number. Step 3 is to present the opportunity, whether you're using a live presentation, a conference call, a website, any of the tools that you're using to present the opportunity, a 3-way call. 4th would be the follow-up and to enroll them. But I'm going to focus right now on, in the time that we have, is to how to get someone's phone number. And let me start by saying why you want to get the phone number. I'm going to tell you a little story. So my wife and I, we had the wedding. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. We made the money, we had the wedding, and all this kind of stuff. What you may not know, and what I haven't said, so you probably wouldn't know, is that my wife didn't like me in college. We were friends in college, I can say that much. In my mind, we were together, but she didn't agree, so we weren't together in practical terms. But I really, really liked her a lot in college. And we went on a couple of dates, but it never grew beyond that. When I graduated before she did. I got my job in Atlanta that I told you guys about, and she and I stayed in touch by Facebook. And we would talk once in a while. I'd comment on her statuses. I'd engage with her. I would pay attention to her. So if she posted a picture, I'd click like on it. I'd say hi. And by the way, guys, this is how I learned how to recruit on Facebook, was by courting my wife, right? So you can learn a lot from what I'm sharing with you right here. So I'm talking to her on Facebook. We would talk a little bit here and there, but I did not have her phone number, so I could not go to the next level in our relationship. Everyone knows when you meet a girl, a pretty girl that you want, you need to get their phone number. I mean, that's just what you do, right? So I needed to get her phone number. So once I got her phone number, I got it on Facebook, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this with all your prospects, how to get their phone number quickly and easily, literally in seconds. And I got her phone number, and I started calling her. We started texting back and forth. We started building their relationship and that trust further because of the phone conversations. Next thing you know, I'm flying down to Tampa from Atlanta every month to see her, and then we were engaged, we fell in love, engaged to be married, and here we are today, happily married ever after. It's been the biggest blessing of my entire life, was to be married to this beautiful woman. But I learned how to recruit because of recruiting her. She's the biggest recruit I have ever landed in my entire life. And I learned it by getting the phone number. So you want to get the phone number for a couple reasons, so that you can follow up with your prospects. If you send them a link to your website and you wait for them to get back with you, you're going to be waiting a very, very long time, and you're probably not going to make any money in the meantime. You want to take ownership of your business and be in a position where you have power, where you can follow up with them. So here's what you want to do. You can go on Facebook right now, and with your little chat bar, set your settings. If you don't have your security settings, you can chat with people. You definitely want to set this up. I'm going to show you one of my favorite strategies for prospecting people. Now that you've built your network, you've got people that are online right now on the right-hand side of your screen that all have little green buttons next, little green dots that say that they're online. Here's what you do. Start a conversation with them. And just chat with them. If it's someone you just added, tell them what I said to you earlier. Tell them, look, I see that you're friends of this person. I've known them for 6 years, 3 years, or the great person. How do you know them? Just start a conversation with them. Find out more from them. Here's what you want to say to prospect them. So let's say that you're talking to somebody right now, and maybe you've been shy about presenting them the business. You're not sure what to say to them. Here's what you say to them right now if you've built up a little bit of rapport. You just say, listen, I'm expanding my business in the area, and I'm looking for some sharp folks that might be open to taking on a side project. Literally just say this, and say that first, and then hit this next line. Are you keeping your options open right now? Question mark. That's your prospecting question. You're going to do that with your instant message chat right now. You could do this with 10 people at a time, 20 people at a time, 30 people at a time. Guys, when I'm really running on Facebook, I've got 30 chat windows open at the same time, and I'm talking to all these different people at the same time. I can talk to more people in 30 minutes than most people can on the phone because of this technology. So it speeds up the amount of time that you have available to you to build your business. So it's really cool. So do this right now. Just start a little conversation with some folks. Let them know you're expanding your business and they're looking for some sharp people, and just ask them, are you keeping your options open right now? Just ask them that. If they say yes, here's where most people mess it up. They'll send them their website right there in the instant message. They'll say, okay, here, check out this website. That's not what you want to do. Here's what you do is you say, listen, I'm much better by phone. What's the best number to reach you on? Guys, take that phrase and literally, if you have to frame it and put it in front of your desk while you're on Facebook, that's the phrase you want to use every single time you want to get someone's phone number. It works like magic. 90+% of the time, and if you're doing the branding like what I share with you how to do, and you're feeding your following, and you've built up a kind of a profile on Facebook, when you reach out to people like that, then they will respond and they'll give you their phone number. Again, the line was, I'm much better by phone. What's the best number to reach you on? They'll give you your phone number right there on the spot, and then you schedule a time to call them, get on the phone with them, and get them to your sites for the presentation. But that's literally what I do over and over and over and over and over again every single day, and that's how we're able to generate so many prospects, simply because of building up a following, a network on Facebook, feeding that following, and then, of course, creating value for them and actually creating some kind of leadership presence on Facebook, so that when I talk to them on the phone, they know that I'm a serious guy, or most of the time anyway. If you see my picture, they see that I like to hang out and stuff too, but they know who I am, they trust me, and at that point, it's easier for me to get them into my business because of that in a huge way. So I'll share with this. I know it's coming on to about quarter to the hour. One of the things I'll tell you, listen, I tried to bring as much as I could from this entire process that we've duplicated in our team. There's been so many people that have asked how we're growing so fast with Facebook and all that kind of stuff, so I'm excited that Tom brought me on. Hopefully this has been of some value to you, but I'll tell you there's still a missing piece, and I alluded to this at the beginning of the call. And I share with you, when I first got started in network marketing, I wrote a list of contacts just like everyone does, but I never called them. I was on all the calls, I was showing up to the events, that's where Tom would see me, I'd show up at the events, but still wasn't building the business. I was fooling myself, and I've heard that the 11th commandment in this industry is thou shalt not fool thyself. I went through most of my career building this business, fooling myself, thinking that I was actually building my business, but not being committed to taking flat-out massive action until my world fell apart, and I had no choice but to look up and to believe that God was going to bless my activity, and we went to work. So here's what people say to me now. They say, okay, most people think that my breakthrough in this industry came when my income knocked over $30,000 in a month. That's when they think my breakthrough happened. Can I tell you when my breakthrough actually happened? My breakthrough happened about 6 months before that, when I didn't have internet, when we didn't have food. We were sending books back to Amazon to get food. That's how we got groceries. When I had to go to Panera Bread to try and get internet, and at Panera Bread they closed at 10 o'clock at night. And I was trying to build my business as long as I possibly could. So if they closed, I wouldn't have internet access. So one night, this was my breakthrough moment when I had nothing, no money in the bank, literally had nothing. Just a plan and just a focus that we were going to break through. I will never forget this. I was sitting outside of Panera Bread because they kicked us all out. I'm still trying to latch onto their internet to try and chat with just a few more prospects to try and get some more people to my website. And it started to rain. And if you can imagine the frustration, first of all, of what we had gone through, and then now having it rain on top of you while you're trying to sit there and build your business, I looked up at the heavens and I almost screamed. I was so frustrated and I was so broken at that point. And I said to God, I said, God, I don't know why everything has gone wrong, but I'm going to keep on going. I'm not going to give up. I don't care what happens next. I'm going to keep on going. When I made that decision, that's when my breakthrough happened. Of course, it didn't show up later. The evidence of the breakthrough was when we hit the income took off. But the real breakthrough came when I made that decision to take massive action, and our life has never been the same. So Tom, I'll turn it back to you, brother. I know that there's a lot of folks that probably want to get more information on how they can actually really learn from the really master Facebook. And for those of you guys that want to get that, we have it available for you. The same video course that's only been available for my team for a very long time is available online, and we wanted to do something special for you guys tonight. But Tom, if there's anything else you wanted me to cover, brother, I'll do that. But thank you for having me on. I really hope this has had an impact on my life tonight.
No, Matt, no, that was awesome, buddy. I appreciate it. And just for those of you guys that are maybe just pop down here. Matt is, again, I'm really ever, in fact, I don't remember the last time I had a guest speaker on. I want to make sure that I trust this person specifically like I do Matt Harris. And I actually got his course almost many months ago, maybe even a year ago, and went through it myself personally and got some amazing tips that I've used to prospect through Facebook and social media. He knows what he's talking about. Matt and why don't you share, Matt, a little bit about what you put together? I know you only usually offer this course specifically to people on your team. Even though the course is generic, it doesn't talk about any, Matt doesn't, it's a totally generic Facebook course that he put together. Matt, why don't you share about that, and what do you normally charge for it? And we put together a special promotion for Priority Team for you guys. I'm going to have to share that a little bit and the website, and then I'll finish up. We'll be done in about 2 minutes.
Absolutely. No, and what I remember I shared at the beginning of the call where a friend of mine called me up and said, "Man, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm just not getting the results." And I put the video series together to help him. He was a friend of mine, and I wanted to see him succeed in the business. I believed much in him, so I spent 3 days basically detailing out every single thing that I had done on a day-to-day basis to get my income as to where it had gotten. And I've recorded those and put them online. So he saw them and became the #1 recruiter in 30 days. And his team wanted to become the top. They wanted to see the results they're getting. So we provided for the team as well. Literally, this course has every single thing from setting up your profile page, how to maximize it, how to take advantage of the different things that Facebook already has in. There's a lot of different tricky things that Facebook has in place that can slow down your growth in terms of building a network and all this stuff. So I show you how to maximize that. Then going into the second module of how to actually brand yourself as the leader, as the person that people need to be involved in. So that when you get on the phone with somebody, they're excited to talk to you just because of what they've seen about you on Facebook. It changes the game. I had to master that because, as I share with you, we didn't have internet. Our paint in our car was peeling off. It's just amazing where we were when we first got started. But I couldn't show that image. Couldn't show the people that struggled. So we figured out how to present ourselves as leaders without lying, but presenting ourselves as leaders. So regardless if you already are a leader, if you're just starting out, I'll show you how to craft yourself. And then the third module that we have in there too, by the way, it's over 7 hours of content. The third module actually talks about the language to use. I share with you one specific strategy. There's several different that will have your phone ringing off the hook every single day when it comes to prospecting people. The exact language that you can use with someone even if they're not online, because a lot of folks may not be online when you get on there, but what to do to actually get people to reach back to you and send you their phone numbers so that you can get on the phone with them, and then what to say to them when you get on the phone and to actually get them involved in your business, as well as some more advanced strategies like how to use YouTube and blogging and all that kind of stuff to build your brand on Facebook as well. So as well as some of the bonuses we have in there, bro. So it's about 7 hours worth of content for sure. And when we've made it available outside of our team, it sells for $249, Tom, but I wanted to make sure that everyone who wanted it and who, if you've felt any kind of value tonight, if you want to go and have access to that, then we're doing the special price of just $199 tonight for you to be able to get that. That, again, is just for you guys on this call. And the website for that, Tom, I believe, is www.PriorityNation.com. And so you'll see that when you get to the site, PriorityNation.com. You'll be able to have access to that course immediately.
Awesome, Matt. Well, we appreciate you, buddy. And what I wanted to do, I have a new awesome guy that's helping us out with PriorityTeam.com, Clayton. So first off, Clayton, thank you so much for putting together this call and putting together the website, helping with the promotion of the email. He also said, hey, why don't we give a bonus? I'm like, okay, go for it. let's give a bonus on top of it. So for anybody that gets Matt's incredible Facebook program, and by the way, one of the things that I like most about your course, Matt, is the scripts. Word for word, exactly what to say to prospects so you don't come across like you're bugging or spamming. It's a very professional, direct way to communicate, and that has the words all laid out in this course. That was my favorite part of it. And then, of course, the step-by-step logistics of how to actually search and find people specifically in your neighborhood, the kind of person that you want to find. There's some advanced search features in the course that Matt teaches you that I had no clue until I went through Matt's course. That far alone was worth going through it It'll be worth the investment for you guys as well. So go to PriorityNation.com, and really, for people that take action, for the first 25 of you, whether you listen to this live or recorded, because we're saying that recorded, but most of you, based on the amount of people on this call right now, the first 25 we're going to offer a bonus. And that is either A, depending on if you have this, we're going to give you a course that we did called Creating Wealth While Having a Life. That's $200 alone for that. It's free for the first 25 of you to step up right now and go to PriorityNation.com. So I'm going to give that course, Creating Wealth While Having a Life. If you already have that, then we'll give you another product, People Skills for Prospecting, depending on if you already have that product. But go to PriorityNation.com to go ahead and get that. Matt, is my phone breaking up, by the way? Can you hear me okay?
It sounds like you're in a little bit of a bubble, but I can hear you.
Go ahead and repeat real quick the bonus, Matt, if you heard it. Go ahead and tell everybody and give them the website one more time, and then we're going to wrap it up tonight.
Okay, so the bonus for the first 25 people, whether you listen to this live or recording, is that you're going to get a special course absolutely free, how to develop wealth while having a life. And Tom is one of the best at teaching this. I love the fact he really lives the 4-hour work week when he's into building the business. I love that about the way they build, and that's one of the things I've tried to model my own business around too, to be so good and have that lifestyle as well as having the income. And for the first 25 people that go ahead and get the Facebook Prospecting Power, you'll get that as well. If you already have that, then Tom is actually going to add another course in there for free for you as well too. So it's just to make sure there's extra value for you there. Again, the website is www.PriorityNation.com. Priority as in priority team, so PriorityNation.com, and you'll be able to get that special price of $199, Tom.
Awesome, guys. Sorry for my phone breaking up, but Matt, you sounded loud and clear. You are amazing, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your incredible focused prospecting in your own home-based business. So I really appreciate you being a guest speaker tonight. Guys, make sure you get Matt's course. For those of you that want to learn a different way and some new ways and some new strategies to have unlimited amount of people to talk to. So I'm going to open the lines. If you guys want to put a shout-out to Matt and say thank you and God bless you guys, and we'll see you next Thursday on the live call. Looking forward to having you guys and getting the success stories from the Facebook program with Matt. So thank you so much, Matt. And everybody, I'm going to open lines and say good night and God bless, and thanks to Matt. Bye-bye, everyone.
Mahalo, Matt. Mahalo.
See you, Matt. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Right on, Matt. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, buddy.
Mahalo. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Tom.
Good job, guys. Goodbye. Thanks, Matt.